gonna get me, you got me. You got me with 10 seconds. Alright, you got me, man. That was nice. That was fast, good fast chess. Brain bug? What's brain bug, Lucy? Jason Pierre Sweeney gets his first victory. Jason for the W. That deserves an oh snap. You got burned. You got burned on the Trout show. I'm gonna have to give them the emoji for me getting burned by the Sweeney Nader. Okay, how do we get this? I really want to get that photo. There we go. Boom! You just got burned by Jason Pierre Sweetie on the Trout show.
This tweet is 6 years old, and this is where it gets heard.
Okay.
Where the fuck is my
There we go. Got burned by Sweeney. That was nice.
Enjoy yourself. It is a fucking celebration. It is the point Tuesday pickup.
14. I'm 1400 rated. Oh, I never noticed that. Yeah, I don't play very much Blitz, so I don't know are they different from the regular ratings? I didn't know that. Yeah, I had no idea that there was a different rating. So we're actually only 400 points a difference on that, but whatever, those ratings don't mean much.
Serious behaviour. Serious. Big up the Liverpool Massive. It's their night tonight.
One-on-one is good enough for me. Yeah, you did good there, Jason. You had all of those games. You had real good chances. One I beat you by 0.6. Another one I beat you by like 1.3 seconds. So you were clobbering me on time, man. Lucy, what's brain bug chess? Or you mean brain hand? That's what I'd really like to play. I'd love to play some brain hand, guys. Okay, and then what's the threshold? What's the threshold for like regular games? Because there's a third time control for that, or like a third rating for that as well. I think I have a very low rating for regular because I hardly play on. But basically, I play in the old days I played a lot of 3-minute and 5-minute, and then I switched to 5 and 2, and now I'm on 3 and 2 mostly. Those are my normal time controls. But if guys on the show want to play any kind of time control tonight, this is appreciation night, so I am open to suggestions. So let me just show you guys some of my emotes. Now that I have affiliate status, I got a few people watching, so tell me what you think of these. These are some of my, in addition to the obvious, putting my Bobby Fish up, this nice little fish up you see right here in the middle of the screen. Here are some of my emote choices. You tell me what you guys think. Which ones do you like? Here, this is emote number 1. The oh snap! You got burned. You got burned on the Trout show. Okay, so there's that one. This is my shaking my fist at the chess gods, or yes, you know, like one of those kind of things. Okay. There's that one. This is my come on, dude, seriously? Seriously, you're playing the Bomb Cloud against me? What is this, a Hammerschlag? Come on, dude. Okay, so there's that face. Okay, this is just my like generic glee at happiness at you subscribing or giving me some bits or playing me a good game of chess, okay? This one's just kind of like Planet of the Apes, right? No! Statue of Liberty, you blew it all up, you maniacs! Okay, so there's that one. Okay, and then this is my sad face, my I'm not playing very good. This is my, oh man, I just lost to Jason Sweeney, he beat me real bad. Oh, chess is hard. Chess is hard. Okay, so those are my emotes. So if you like any of those, or if you have any suggestions, then please tell me in the chat box there. So, or put it in my suggestion box or something. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. So Bughouse. Okay, again, my terminology is a little off here, folks. I'm old school. Is Bughouse Siamese? because there's one called Crazy House, right? Where it's Siamese chess, but you're only playing one person against one person. So is Bug House different from Crazy House? Is Bug House Siamese chess, like doubles chess? Because I might have my terminology wrong. Harry Potter chess. I don't know about that. That's the only scene I've seen in any of the Harry Potter movies was the chess scene. My friends dragged me to watch that scene just because it had chess in it. Oh yeah, well, I've known Eric since he was a kid, so I met Eric in probably 2004 or 2005. We were playing in the... here's a cool story with him. I only have a couple of cool stories with him. I like to tell them over and over again, so I hope he doesn't hate me for that. But so we're playing in this tournament, okay? My rating was over 2,000, and I think his was maybe in the 1,700s. And by the end of the tournament, he was over 1,900. Or maybe he was over 1,900 and he went over 2,000 that tournament. It was something like that. 9 years old. Think about that, guys. And so he ended up, I think, with 4 points, and he won the under 2,000 section, and I tied in my section with 3.5 points, winning the under 2,200 section or something. But his cut was bigger for taking under 2,000 prize. So he lost one game. It might have been against Nander Tot or somebody like that. So he's looking at the position after the game, okay? And he's got this rook and pawn ending. This is Eric Hansen, 9 years old. Current grandmaster and multiple Canadian champion, Eric Hansen. And he's looking at this position, okay? And he's going, okay, this is the position I had. I played this move, and then I lost. But I analyzed it, and I knew that I had a draw if I played this other move. But then I didn't play it. I chickened out or whatever, and then I lost the game. That was the only game I lost. And I looked down at the position, and it looked to me like he was getting clobbered. And I was like, I don't know. I can see a whole bunch of ways you're losing this position. And Eric Hansen goes, no, I analyzed it all. Believe me. He's like, show me, Rob. Prove it. Like, I'll show you right now. So, sure enough, I put all these different rook moves. I'm like, why don't I just push this pawn? I was like about to get a queen. He's like, no, I've got this move. Click, click, click. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is a draw. Okay, but then I can just move this rook first. No, I've got this. We went through 3 or 4 different lines. Eric Hansen at 9 years old, had perfectly and correctly analyzed that position. He was absolutely right. It was a draw. He was absolutely right. And I knew right there that this was not some ordinary 9-year-old chess prodigy, of which already to be 1,900 at 9 years old is ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But for him to have out-analyzed that position so badly and had it so down pat, I knew that he was going to be a pretty special chess player. And then years later, I saw him. We saw each other at a few tournaments over the years, but I saw him one time in Ottawa, and he was already a 2,200 player. He was already a 2,200 player at that time, and then the next time I saw him was like a year or two later, and he was 2,500. It was like, holy cow, buddy. So yeah, I've known him for a while. Aman, I don't know. I just know him like in that I used to see him around at the tournaments. It was always him and Batur Sambuev in the finals of some tournament. But I'll always remember that time with Armando and Kevin Pacey and Augusta and maybe I know Jean Hebert was at that tournament. I don't know if he was there at the board, but I remember they were all these masters were looking at this position in an endgame, and Aman was walking around and just casually glancing at it. And at one point in time, he just played a move. He's like, "Yeah, this is the move," and they all just went silent. All the masters went silent, and they stared and stared at the board, and nobody could refute it. Aman had the right move immediately. And on the ride home, because we were in Gatineau, so we got a ride back into town in Ottawa, and on the ride home, Armando Valdezan, he was like a 2,300, 2,350 player, he was just fanboying like crazy over Aman. He couldn't believe how quickly he had seen that move. So, and at that point in time, Aman was already like over 2,400 or something. So I was pretty sure he was going to be a Grandmaster one day too, and sure enough, he's a Grandmaster now, so... Those are some of my, I've got another cool one with Eric. I'll tell you some other time, but I'll save that. I don't want to give all of my Grandmaster stories in one day, but those are a couple of my stories with the Chess Bros. Cool, real cool guys. No, they're a legend. I'm just hitching my wagon to their shooting star. That's all that's going on there. Eric's not in his... You thought Eric Hansen was in his 40s? Holy mackerel. I hope he's not still watching this show. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool to know. I've been a teacher for a long time in Canada, and sometimes I didn't even teach the students. Like an example would be, there was a girl named Yuan Ling Yuan, okay, and she eventually became a WIM. Maybe even I think she's only an IM. But I started playing her when she was 6 years old. She was a 6-year-old Chinese girl, and she was coming to the club and playing. And her dad William was there, and she was an extremely strong player. She was at least 1600 already at the age of 6, and she used to come out to the club, and nobody wanted to play her because she was so strong. So I would play her. So I didn't get paid or anything. I didn't teach her any lessons or anything. I would just play her some blitz games and stuff. And then she started coming out to this club that Neil Frary was putting on, and it was at this restaurant. And they would come and they would play there. Well, they didn't want to eat that kind of crappy food, sodas and burgers and stuff. So they wouldn't order anything. And one day, the waitress came up and got mad and said, "You guys have to buy something or else you're going to have to leave." And they weren't going to buy anything, and I didn't want them to leave, and she wanted to stick around and play. So I bought them a burger and a pop, and I asked the waitress, "Is it okay if I buy this for them, but they don't actually eat it or drink it? We'll just pay for it?" And she said, "Sure, that's no problem." So we bought those things and put them on the table. They didn't touch them, and we got to play chess for another 45 minutes or something. Years later, Yuan Ling Yuan became an extremely strong player. She's now close to 2,400 at WIM, and she eventually started a program, her and Joey Quinn, another young junior I used to play a lot when he was 7, 8 years old and developing. Now he's a multiple-time Ottawa champion. And they started together a program in the schools and school libraries across North America where they opened chess programs for kids. And if you go to YouTube and type in Yuan Ling Yuan interview, she eventually went to Yale or something. Got like a super education. But if you type in her name, you can find interviews of her, and she recants those, and she recalls those days in Ottawa where people used to play her, ordinary Joes used to play her and help her to develop and make her feel like she was part of the community, and that's why she wanted to give something back to the chess community and start that program in the libraries and stuff like that. So even the kids that weren't necessarily my students that got really strong, like Eric Hansen or Yuan Ling Yuan, I like to believe that in some very small, tiny, minute way that I made some impression on them and gave them a positive experience about chess, and helped to encourage them to stay with it and get stronger. And then eventually I just became a measuring bar. They went on to much, much better things than a potser like me. So, Hu Yifan, yeah, is that the